Hey y'all, it's Crystal here from ChristaCoDesign. Today we're going to work on the alternating cable cast on. You can use any weight yarn and matching needles for this. You can knit it flat, you can knit it in the round. For this one I'm using a number 6 super bulky yarn and my 9mm knitting needles. We'll start first with the slip knot to get set up. This is a short tail cast on, so you don't need to leave a long tail. Slip that slip knot on your left hand needle. This will count as our first stitch. Since it has a bump, we will count it as a purl stitch. Now we're going to use the knitted cast on to set up our next stitch before we start the alternating cable cast on. So we're just going to insert our right needle into this slip knot stitch. We're inserting it in knitwise. And we're going to make essentially a knit stitch, but we won't slide it off the needle. So we're wrapping the yarn counterclockwise around the right needle tip, pulling up a loop there. We're going to pull it up longer, and then we're going to slip it on to the left-hand needle. So now we have 2 stitches here. This last one counts as a knit stitch. Now we're ready to start our alternating cable cast on. And just like with the cable cast on, we're going to be inserting between the 2 stitches that you have on the needle, the last 2 stitches as we work. So we're going to need a purl stitch next. So we're going to bring our yarn to the front, and we're going to insert our needle, our right hand needle, between the 2 stitches from the back to the front. Then we're going to wrap the yarn around like we would as if to purl, and then pull that through. Pull that loop through, and then instead of sliding off, we are slipping it back onto the left-hand needle. Now we're working a knit stitch, so we're moving our yarn to the back, and we're going to insert our needle from the front to the back between the 2 stitches. Wrap the yarn over, pull up a loop, slide that onto our left-hand needle. Move our yarn to the front, insert our needle from the back to the front, wrap the yarn over counterclockwise, pull our loop through, slide it onto the needle. And then you'll just keep repeating those 2, alternating between the knit cast on and the purl cast on for the number of stitches you need. Okay, if you are knitting a 1x1 rib flat, then you are ready after you cast on to go ahead and start your ribbing. You will knit the knits and purl the purls. Here I'm starting with a purl and then knitting. Purl, knit, purl, knit. Just keep working that across. Your recessed stitches, the ones that look further back on your needle, are your purls, and the ones that come up forward are your knits if you need help with that. And when you are done with your row, you just turn, and like any knit 1x1 rib, you will knit the knits and purl the purls. Turn your work and continue knitting your 1x1 rib for the height of your project. Knitting the knits and purling the purls. I'll get a couple rows worked up here for you so you can see what it looks like with the cast on. You can see here how neat our edge is, and it just goes right into the knit one, purl one rib, making it look really seamless and a really nice cast on edge. To use this cast on when working in the round, be sure to cast on an even number or a stitch multiple of 2. Here I've cast on 28, so I have enough stitches to do magic loop, which I'm setting up here now. And I'm going to join in the round in the normal way I would, which is just to get it set up and then knit the first stitch. For this one, I'm counting my slip knot stitch as a knit. So I'll knit the first one and then purl the second, knit the third, and then purl the fourth, and continue around knitting and purling, alternating around. And my join happened right when I knit that first stitch, so it's already joined in the round. Okay, now I'm ready to reset up my magic loop here at the middle of my stitches and just continuing around, knitting one, purling the other, all the way around. That's my join there. I'm at my last stitch. It's a purl stitch since I started with a knit. You can see here my first stitch. Let me reset up my magic loop and then I'll show you. And then we just keep going around, knitting the knits and purling the purls. And that is how you use the alternating cable cast on for 1 by 1 rib in the round.